Auxiliary equipment and maintenance work. Other auxiliaries, sewage system. Sewage on the sea is generally the waste produced from toilets, urinals, and gutters. Discarding sewage produced on board on a ship is one of the few tasks on a ship which should be taken utmost care of if one wants to save him and his shipping company from heavy fine. The sewage generated on the ship cannot be stored on the ship for a very long time for this reason, it has to be discharged into the sea. Though sewage can be discharged into the sea, we cannot discharge it directly overboard as there are some regulations regarding discharging of sewage that needs to be followed. Regulation for sewage waste. MARPOL Annex 4. The sewage waste discharge from the ship is regulated under MARPOL Annex 4. Every ship of 400 gross tonnage and above which is engaged in international voyages and carrying minimum 15 persons on board must be equipped with either a sewage holding tank of appropriate capacity or an approved sewage treatment plant or both. The sewage discharge from the ship is allowed if it has an approved sewage treatment plant, which can treat the raw sewage and discharge contaminated and disinfected sewage. With this arrangement, the discharge is allowed at a distance of more than 3 nautical miles from the nearest land, when the ship is proceeding with a speed of 4 knots and above. Foreign-going cargo ships may be allowed, depending upon the area they are plying, to discharge untreated sewage only at a distance greater than 12 nautical miles from the closest land only if the ship is proceeding with a speed of 4 knots and above. The ship has to maintain the rate of discharge of the sewage from the ship, as recommended by the administration. There are 2 methods used on board to treat the sewage: chemical or biological methods. The chemical method is basically a storage tank, which collects solid material for disposal in permitted areas or to a shore collection facility. The biological method treats the sewage so that it is acceptable for discharge inshore. The most preferred sewage treatment in ship is biological sewage treatment, that is using aerobic bacteria. So we will discuss only biological treatment plants here. The basic principle of a biological sewage treatment plant is decomposition of raw sewage with the help of aerobic bacteria. This is done by aerating the chamber with fresh air. The extended aeration process provides a climate in which oxygen-loving bacteria multiply and digest the sewage, converting it into a sludge. These oxygen-loving bacteria are known as aerobic bacteria. Working. A typical ship STP is having 4 chambers: primary chamber, aeration chamber, settling chamber, chlorination chamber. Primary chamber. The raw sewage enters the primary chamber via a coarse mesh filter, where large solids are broken down. The advantage of breaking sewage in small particles is that it increases the area and a high number of bacteria can attack simultaneously to decompose the sewage. Aeration chamber. The sewage enters the aeration compartment where it is digested by aerobic bacteria and microorganisms. The aeration chamber is where the main biological action takes place. Here air blowers mounted on the outside of the unit oxygenate and stir the effluent and bacteria mix via a series of pipes and nozzles. The sewage remains in this aeration tank for some time. The sewage is decomposed into carbon dioxide, water, and inorganic sewage. Settling chamber. The sewage then flows into the settling compartment where the activated sludge is settled out. Any solids that settle out are returned via an airlift to the aeration chamber, which ensures that they are fully broken down. This returned sludge contains the bacteria to digest the incoming sewage. Chlorination chamber. The clear liquid then overflows from the settling tank to the chlorination chamber and the chlorinator disinfects the liquid. The chamber has float switches which control the discharge pump and a high-level alarm.